Oven Podcast. Your table is ready. You can follow me.
What's up, guys? It's a beautiful afternoon in Manhattan. Franco and I are here. We're about to have lunch at Popete 71 in the Upper West Side with magician and mentalist Devonte Rosero. Nicky Meatballs always kills it over here. He's got the oven preheated, so let's get baked.
All right. Devonte's already got the cards out.
Yes, sir.
I love it. We got the red wine poured.
I'm ready to have my mind blown.
Oh, dude. We were hanging out outside and we're ready to go. This is gonna be a show. Hey man, seriously, I want to thank you, for taking your time out, coming out to lunch, hanging out at Popete 71 for the first time. Nicky's about to put on a show in that kitchen for us. So, you ready to eat?
That's what I came out for. I'm excited. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you. Good food, good combo. Why not?
All right, that's easy. Over 50 million people entertained. And now he's here with us on the oven. Let's clap it up for Devonte. Now, I was trying to tell you outside when the oven started. It was me, Mario, a bunch of our buddies used to smoke in my buddy's basement. His mom was cool with it. And they didn't want us hanging out, driving around. So we would hang out down there. And Pete and Josh used to learn magic tricks. Online, quick, card tricks. And Pete actually got pretty good. I can't lie, Pete got pretty good. And, we would go out to go out to the bar, late night Denny's, and he'd have a fanny pack with his cards, whipping them out. So this is like a little testament to Pete right now. I showed him your videos. He's like, let's go, baby.
Shout out to WAP.
Shout out to WAP.
Shout out to WAP.
It looks like you're ready to get into it. It looks like you're ready to do.
This is me since I've been a kid, man. This is me on a regular. I'm not even ready to anything. This is literally my
your baseline.
My baseline is having a deck of cards in my hand.
Okay.
I can do something, but no, I'm not. A lot of people say, "Oh, you must be getting ready." This is like me
just hanging out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So but at any point, we can do something.
Let's start with one.
For sure.
Getting you right off
Don't
the bat.
mind me. I'm going to be, we have some audio listeners, so I'm going to be just walking them through exactly what you're doing, shuffling the cards right now.
Well, the first thing is, I think ideally, everybody should always examine the cards. Can you see them here? Or you could see some here. All different here.
Yep.
The reason I say this is because as a kid, the first thing I learned was that you can actually buy decks of cards. As a kid, you can buy decks of cards that already come prepared. Maybe they have the same card, whatever. I'm not exposing anything too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You walk into a mall, you get a little magic trick, and so what you're watching is not done with any one of those packs of tricks. This is actually 52 real decks of cards, real cards, not decks of cards, real cards. 52 cards. If I said to you, for example, to name out a card out loud, what card comes to your mind? What card would you say, let's say?
Ace of Spades.
Why this one exactly? Actually, you hold a deck. Why this one? Just because it came to your mind?
Yeah, it's just a powerful card. It was the first one that came to mind.
Watch this. If I said to you right now, give me a number between, we're going to count, let's go between 1 and 10. Let's say it out loud.
7.
This is what's crazy, is because you could have said king. A lot of men, if I say, king of hearts, king of spades, you said ace. Then you said a number. Most popular number you say, sometimes people say 3, actually.
Okay.
And sometimes, do you like 7? Count exactly 7 cards, but put them face up.
Face up.
How random would it be if the 7th card, without me touching, without me doing anything, is the ace of spades?
My mom will be born early.
Go. That's 1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6.
This is the 7th one.
The 7th
you
one
take a look at it first.
It's the ace of spades.
That's wild.
Now, this was all accomplished without the cards even being in my hand. So this is, maybe can't even be categorized as sleight of hand. It can't be categorized as a traditional, hands are quicker than the eye. This is more mind is in effect. Here, take the cards. Take the cards and cut them in half, split them in half. Now, usually, I want you to do it without the table, and I'll tell you why. Because and then put it in the bottom, without the table. There, do it again. Cut them. No table. Good. Do this under the table now. So now, for everybody listening, he's taking the cards, and he's cut them under the table. No, and he's going to keep them under the table. and he can cut again. And I'm going to keep talking, and he'll cut again. Maybe he'll stop. Maybe he'll bluff me. Maybe he'll make believe he's still shuffling. But he actually stopped. I don't know. Maybe he cuts it one last time. I don't know. The point is this. As I'm talking, he has the cards under the table. No one could see what's happening at this point. I mean, there's cameras, but nobody's looking under the table.
Okay.
Right now, take the card. Don't even tell us. Let's say right now, take the card. It could be the card right now, all the way in the top, or fuck it, maybe last second, take the card all the way at the bottom. Okay. Whichever one you want, and slide it under you, so you're not even looking at it. It goes right under your leg, right under your leg. So you don't know. I don't know where he took and take the cards. Take the cards out. The rest of the cards will go to you. You take all. Yes, and you could hold on to them. If we were in a casino, this is actually pretty fair. I have not touched the cards. The cards were shuffled by you under the table. You've taken, you didn't even tell me you took the top one, the bottom one. You haven't even looked at it.
I have not.
If I were sitting in the table, which normally I run these kind of things in my mind, I'd be thinking, why is he doing this? Did he look? Did he see how he shuffled? I didn't see anything.
Right.
Could he see, maybe the cards are marked. Well, the cards were taken under the table, even if it was marked. How could you even see the card? It's always been done under the table.
Right.
Or maybe he looks at the other cards. Maybe he knows which was missing. The cards are not even in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he reads the person. Maybe he knows what they're, you haven't even looked at it.
I didn't look at it.
If I said to you, off camera, what card do you like in the deck? What cards? It's like the kings or the aces or queen. You like the queens, let's say. So if I said...
Queen of diamonds.
No, but I'm saying what kind of cards you like. Not specifically. Queens. Could be the jacks or the sevens or a popular card you like sevens. Queens. Clubs, hearts, diamonds. You like the diamonds.
Me? Spade.
No, I'm just, I didn't say thing. No. I would go Queen of Clubs.
This right now.
You say Queen? Queen of Clubs. Take it out.
You want me to look first?
You look first.
It's that easy, huh?
That's insane. That is the Queen of Clubs, people. Wow.
Bro.
So you did that. You didn't read my mind because I didn't know what it was, but you can read minds.
Right.
When did you
so
know?
We'll save that kind of stuff for later.
Oh, okay.
The mentalism stuff.
All right, we'll save it.
Yeah. No. You can talk about it, but I'm saying we'll demonstrate it later.
When and how did you know that you had mentalist capabilities?
Mentalism is like I was explaining off camera to him. Mentalism is found through magic, right? So magic, first of all, has a lot of different tentacles. Is it what we say?
Yeah, we can call it that.
Magic. Depending on where you come from in the world, if you just seen a magician at your local birthday party, maybe that's the only thing you know about magic.
Right.
But maybe you come from Hades and your association with magic is a completely different magic. It's not the kid's magic trick. It's maybe voodoo. Or maybe you come from Africa and your kind of magic is completely different. So what I learned with magic was I got in at the age of 9. My grandmother would do like healing stuff, but I didn't relate that to what I was doing. I was doing card tricks. I would see what we call mentalists do different kind of effects. Let's call this an effect. But I understood the effects I was doing were accomplished through some sort of sleight of hand, some sort of like, I'm quicker than you. They weren't quicker than me. I didn't understand how they knew these things. But I just felt that it took a lot of work, or I felt that it was just, I didn't have it inside. So for me, it was just about mastering what I knew, which to me at the time was cards. So I did magic for most of my life, mastering whether it was cards, whether it was stage magic, whether it was every level of magic that I could get my hands on. When I exhausted all those sort of in my own interest, and I found the people around me weren't, as receptive as I wanted it to be, as I was once with it, I realized that for me it would have to be that mentalism. And it was a while for me to realize like this is really what I wanted to take on. And so it took a while for me to transition and transition back into that idea of, maybe mentalism is where I need to be. Going back into maybe tapping into that spiritual sort of aspect of it. Going back to, what my grandmother was more up to. But I had now came to this realization with all these years of performing magic and being on stage. So my understanding with people and understanding of like cultures and like different social classes really helped with mentalism, because once Because mentalism is really connecting with people at the end of the day, right? Because there's no props. It's just you and them.
Right.
So like what happens with the cards, there's no more cards. There's no more bunny. There's no more hat. There's no more ribbons. So what do you do? And so what's left is you and the person and their thoughts. And that's where mentalism started for me. And so where it's gotten me is much farther than I think magic was able to get me. And I think it's because just of how I connected with people with it.
Who were the hardest people to read?
It's the people you don't think. So most people think that the hardest people are two groups of people. So most people would assume it's either a heckler or some sort of very smart person, whatever that is.
I thought maybe even like a kid sometimes.
Yeah, so that's actually right. So a kid, somebody who's maybe not, I don't want to say intelligent, but like is just not following directions. Like is unpredictable.
No.
A drunk person would be very hard to read.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. So it's the opposite of what most people think. Most people think, oh, I'm so stupid, you got me. No. You're actually, thank God you're not stupid, because none of this would have actually worked. So, yeah. So it's like, yeah. So the smarter you are, the better this is for me.
Right.
For sure.
And you've been doing some stuff on IG Live, right? On Instagram?
Yeah, so I was explaining to him, from magic to performing for people to realizing I wanted to do mentalism, it's all been live, in person, until the pandemic. And then when I couldn't do live anymore, I then decided that what we were going to do was just mentalism on live.
And how much harder is that for you?
It was super hard because we didn't have anything to really base it off of. A lot of the ideas and concepts we had to come up with ourselves because they didn't exist. Even just generic stuff like even the effect, the concept, forget about how it's done. Just what do you do?
Right,
it didn't even exist because it had, again, there was no references. Where we referenced to, believe it or not, because there was references, like mentalists had been, there were mentalists that could do things over the radio.
Yeah.
Right. So this is something we picked up immediately. We picked up books like, what are the old school guys? What do they revert to? A lot of this stuff was like math stuff. Like,
really
think of a number and add this number. And it was just very, very, what I would consider boring stuff. I was explaining to him that like, this is my own biased opinion maybe, but I feel like mentalism, at least the mentalism I grew up watching, it was just very stretched out. You would see the first, like you would get a first like big moment after like a 5-10 minutes, like, oh wow, something just happened. Because this mentalist for that whole time was just either connecting or setting the stage, setting the mind up. Mm-hmm. And I realized like, one, I wouldn't be as interested into it. I would be like, man, this is amazing, but it's just like, man, this is taking forever. I'd fall asleep watching mentalism. Mm-hmm. All that had to be changed for internet, right? It's like, you don't have fucking 5 minutes to try to guess somebody. They would go on live. Go ahead, tell me my password right now. What? Is this something that like somebody would, in my field would be like, this is, guess your password. All right, let me focus. Let me get digit by digit. Let me see how you're moving.
Yeah.
This is a 20-minute process. No, right now. Go ahead quickly. We're on live right now. Go ahead, quick. And so that's what I had to adapt to. That's what made it difficult. It was the speed of things, the quickness of things, it's on their field. You're not, it's not on your stage.
It's different.
They're at home. They're in their basement and they're being distracted by whoever, their friend that's throwing something at them, and you have 1,000 people because it's, whatever. And
that distraction pulls you from making a connection
all of that. You're dealing with all of those. And so, yeah.
Okay. You brought up, I want to touch back on voodoo. You brought up voodoo before.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on it? I feel like voodoo has such a negative connotation.
It's a real thing. And by real, I mean, it's a real practice. It's a real belief system. I'm pretty sure I'm not out of line by saying it's a religion. I mean, I think, voodoo, of course, has been taken and then, in movies made to be something that maybe it's not. Of course, there is a lot of, mysticism to it, but, voodoo is actually very connected to like Catholicism in many ways.
Really?
Saints, yeah.
I did not know that. I actually just got confirmed this weekend.
31 years old, finally got made his confirmation this weekend.
Mario Giovanni.
This just maybe the blunts. I just crossed, and I want to make sure that I don't do this. What I meant is Santeria, which is the other that I'm thinking in my mind, which is also sometimes connected to voodoo. Sometimes people can say, but Santeria is the one that is connected to Catholicism. So I just want to be accurate with my words. some people may look at it as voodoo. Santeria is also comes from us from like Cuba. So Santeria is what you've seen. Maybe they wear all white. They'll have usually do like a sacrifice of a chicken. Do you know Joey Diaz from Joe Rogan podcast?
Yeah.
He's a santero.
Okay.
His mom was a santero. Like if you ever just like Google him telling stories of like the shit he saw growing up and like just like supernatural shit.
I actually, I don't know what her religion is, but I have a family friend. I think when she turned 40, she wore like white for a year, and she's Cuban. Does that have anything to do with it?
Pretty sure.
Okay.
Sounds
Really?
Yes, for a whole year she wore white. That was interesting.
You gotta talk to her about that next time.
Yeah.
It's like saying I have an Italian friend. He had something that was like round and sauce and cheese. Probably pizza, but I could be wrong. But being that you said Italian and round and cheese, probably.
You're probably spot on.
Yeah.
What's your definition of a magician?
I guess it changes it changes on any given day because it's such a broad question for me, because I guess I studied it. So to me, it's not a broad question. Yeah, it's a broad. To me, it's as broad as asking like God. It's like do you believe in God? I mean, it's just so deep. Maybe broad and deep the same thing. No, it's a deep question.
Yeah, there's a lot of parts.
With lots
to it.
of answers. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's a deep, but I can answer very simply also. Like I think like, so what kind of magic are we talking about, right? So like I'm aware of all the kinds of magic. So like I think the problem when I say like, and I don't mean to like skate the question. Like I think, how do you define magic? It's like I define it in the way that it's defined, which is in all its definitions, right? So it's like I'm aware of all the different kinds of magics that we are all aware of, right? So there's like what we consider black magic. We know stage magic. We know card magic. We know there's all kinds of magic, voodoo, santeria, like there's all. So do I believe in it? Of course I believe in it. What do I describe it as? Depends what context we're speaking.
Okay. Well, this is going to be my last question about a specific form of magic, but you brought up black magic. I mean, what are your thoughts on black magic? I mean, isn't that supposed to be some serious stuff, or is that?
I don't study it, so
you don't know. For what you do know, I mean, the intentions of black magic are typically to hurt people. No,
that seems to be the idea, at least from the other side, right? But
it's like movie standpoints again.
Yeah.
Like movie just paint like a bad picture for it.
I think that like I saw something today that might shine light. Pardon the pun. Shine light in this dark. Somebody said, damn, what was it? It was like, when something along, I might be messing this up, but it was the gist of it was, you can harness, people may hate on you, like in the world, people are like, man, I have haters and I have this, like, let's call that bad energy, right? Negative energy. Well, we know that you can harness that. And some of the most successful people harness that energy, right? Now that energy it's very dangerous energy. You know what I mean? Because it's like, so it's a way that I look at like how you can take bad, but black magic is maybe not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how to utilize the other side. In this case, the negative.
Okay.
Black magic is it's again, I don't know, what are we talking about when we say black magic? But what I'm assuming we're talking about is when you take any kind of magic and you use it for bad.
Yeah.
So santeria can also I know for sure it can be, you can use it to have like spells to, against your enemies and stuff like that. And to me, what that is, in maybe layman's term, is like really wishing bad against someone.
Right.
And negativity against
I'm just
someone.
picturing like an ex-girlfriend with like a doll of me just like
100%.
shit,
There's some sort of like new age, like North American santeria for sure. that women and men are doing, I'm sure.
Odds are it's probably the horoscope girls on Instagram. That's what it is.
The crystals.
Horoscope girls.
Yeah.
You've got crystals with your name on
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
You're listening to the Oven Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Nicky's famous meatballs.
Let's do
Best
it.
of the 5 boroughs over here.
Come check out Popete 71.
We're here before hours for once.
What's this about?
You want to pour a little bit on your dish? Oh.
I wasn't gonna hit it with the double dip. That would have been disrespectful.
There you go, Frank.
I'm good.
You better not double dip then.
You know me.
That's good.
I like meatball. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take like a couple of these home. Don't have to make me a whole new batch.
I'm going to be lip smacked in this episode, I can tell.
So these are all infused or what?
So we infuse the sauce. Makes it easier. You can also like dose yourself. So if you want more sauce, the whole meal will be like right around like 40 milligrams, 50 milligrams. So you can enjoy it the whole time at least.
Oh man, I'm not worried.
Yeah, no, I figured. So some people are like 40, 50 milligrams. I'm like, dude, you'll be okay.
He's got to worry about me.
Yeah. He's still getting into the swing of things.
I'm lightweight.
So how did the cookie thing start?
Man, we've been making, so back in the day, it was probably like 9th, 10th grade. All of our buddies started making edibles, but doing it like, you have no idea what the dose is. We would eat like one brownie and I would literally be like on the couch needing a drink, but I can't get off the couch to get that drink. So, but it did the trick, especially like we only had $50 in our pocket. So we would get a bunch of edibles out of that. And then, went away to college, didn't really do too much, came back and we started messing around like making the butter and kind of perfected that. And over time, man, it kind of we caught on, which was awesome. I got to thank everybody who, all our followers, everyone that, makes that possible for us. And, we have a network of bakeries, a network of, chefs like Nikki that, they see the vision, they see where it's going. And honestly, the food is so good. It's like, why not infuse it a little bit, heighten it. So, we did our first dinner and, we got a couple more coming up. That's something that you should come to, one of the infused dinners.
Yeah, we love that. Like
60, 70 people. So, I mean, I gotta ask, man, like, you said you've been doing it basically your whole life. So what's the first actual trick that you learned? Was it a card trick?
I think I've probably changed this up so many times because it's hard to remember. Because it's probably a couple of them, that's why. But I want to say that the most accurate one that I can think of, literally if you're asking like what's the first trick, it was a trick where you put a quarter inside a little box. You could pass like these, it was so cheap, it was like a $5 trick. It wasn't even real needles, it was like a plastic needles.
Okay.
And you would just, and like, I didn't even know how it was working. But like when you notice like the coin does a certain maneuver and it looks like an impossible effect because these plastic needles are going through this coin. But yeah, so it started off like that. Tricks were what I would call package tricks, tricks that you would go to a magic shop and buy. I bought the coloring book,
okay,
where you turn the colors into.
Yeah. Growing up, we used to love the magic shop.
Which one did you go to?
So Port Jeff always had one like on Main Street. I think it's a board game store now, which is awesome too. But, we would go to that one over there and, dude, I had like a card that I would be able to like toss and I would like sit there and like move it like that. But it was like something like attached. I don't remember what it was, but it was like so thin.
The UFO card.
Yeah, the UFO card. And like as a little kid, dude, I was going nuts for that. But
it's that first wow, right? You do something and people go like.
Well, I think I saw it when we were in Disney. Like a guy doing it like on like the Disney streets, and I was like, I need to get this when we go home. And so I mean, my dad loved magic too, man. Like growing up. So
did you ever see a proper show like that?
So I haven't yet. What's a show that we should go to?
April 28th.
April 28th, right?
Where is it?
So that's actually my show. What I've been doing is making this now more public, open to the public. April 28th, I have a show on at a spot called Work and Roll, right on 25th Street, and
That'll be at Blue Point.
Yeah, and so it's a space where I'm able to. This isn't an addition to anything. This isn't like, oh, you're having. No, this is you're coming to see a show. We do serve hors d'oeuvres. We have, there's a smoking room. So we incorporate for sure the cannabis but it's not necessarily a smoking. It's not for only cannabis.
It's for everybody.
It's for everybody.
Cool. Yeah, Working on was a really cool spot. They put on some really good shows, man.
Gotta check that out.
How long on average, man, does it take you to learn a new trick?
A couple months for sure.
Really?
I wasn't expecting it to be
No,
that long.
honestly, me neither. Couple months.
Minimum to learn it and master it years, but I hold myself pretty high, or at least I would hope to. If anything that I'm doing is easily replicatable, then that shows the scale of my work.
Yeah.
If you can YouTube anything that I do, then I find no need in doing it. I do the hard. I try to at least, and not just look. I also do the easier stuff sometimes, right? Like, I'm not opposed to doing the coloring book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The situation calls for it. Sometimes I know how to just bring entertainment and lightheartedness. So, but no, for sure, when I'm learning something new, even now I'm learning something new. It's going to be months before I can, even the Rubik's Cube, one of the things I loved about the Rubik's Cube, just learning a basic solve. It took me, I don't know, a year to genuinely learn it at the speed that I wanted it.
And you're quick, dude.
Yeah, you're not even doing anything amazing. You're just, supernatural. You're just doing something that other kids can do.
Yeah. Well, I brought one, right?
Yeah, no. So we got
to break that out.
You want to break it out now?
Yeah, you can break one out.
Yeah.
All right, break one out.
I would say sleight of hand ultimately is its own art. Do you know Penn and Teller?
Yep.
Teller from Penn and Teller, the one that doesn't speak, has a beautiful act that anybody that's listening should go see, which just highlights sleight of hand. And he actually shows some of the moves and then shows you the other side of it. Sleight of hand is simply, fooling the eye. This is a sleight of hand, taking a pen like this and, doing this and, just making it disappear and making it appear and, doing things like this. This is sleight of hand. It's I think in my opinion, one of my favorite parts of magic. It's sleight of hand because it's, in a way the most purest, because what you're looking at is actually happening.
Yeah.
But it's almost happening in your mind because it's just what the hell am I looking at?
Right.
The
things aren't adding up to the eyes.
No, not at all. Even with that pen, just so quick like that.
Exactly.
The Rubik's Cube.
Brand new Rubik's, messing around with it.
I just took it out of the pack.
Can I want to try something though.
Yeah.
Well, how are the angles? The angles are...
You got a camera there and a camera over there. Those are the only two. You want to sit here and do it?
No. Because normally I have somebody take it and they put it behind their back.
Okay.
And then they're able to solve it. But instead, what I think I'm going to do is... I got an idea. Help me up with this. Maybe... It's a little bit, just trying to see the, this should be good. I don't know. Look at me. Maybe so. This is just to see that, if I said, have you ever been hypnotized before?
No, I'd love to be though.
Would you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. Let's try this. In a moment, You'll take the Rubik's Cube. The cube will be in your hand.
Okay.
Usually, well, you can see it. I don't know. I didn't bring my own, so you know that I'm not switching it.
Yeah, of course.
You guys know that it's legit. But anybody at home, you should know that I don't have anything under here. I don't have any other cubes. You can verify.
100%.
This is the only cube
100%.
at play.
Just what do you know?
If I said to you, well, first let me solve it, but then I want to get into the hypnosis part. So solving it, most people would know. Take a look at this. Most people would know. Have you ever solved a Rubik's Cube? Like, for example, look, find the white square, and you'll notice that it has a logo on it. There's only one. If you notice, there's only one, and what you'll notice is there's actually only one of every center. So there's only one orange center, one green center. And once I'm able to locate, for example, in this case, the white, you do the algorithm in the mind about there. Count to 10. but almost like you're looking at a clock. So like 1, 2, 3, but out loud. Go.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Done.
That's so crazy. Oh my God.
Bro, you kidding me? Yo. And I was watching it. I was like, he's not getting that at 10. And it was 8, 9, and dude. Bro.
Now, let's try one more with you.
Okay.
But this time, I'm going to give it to you. And in this time, you're actually going to do something that's going to at first seem like pointless. You're going to be like, what's the point of this?
Okay.
Just as pointless as the hypnotist that takes the damn watch and goes left and right. But there's a reason for this.
Okay.
The monotonous, just the mundane movement of just left and right is to just distract the subconscious. I'm literally telling you what's going to happen.
Okay.
So in a moment, I'm going to make you do something that seems like you're doing nothing.
Okay.
But it's literally there just to distract your subconscious mind.
Okay.
Now that I've told you that, you're going to be listening to me. As a matter of fact, under the table, take it, and you're going to turn it just like this. But he's just going to turn it just like, but he's going to do it under the table just like this. Now, you're not going to solve it. You just try it. Do it just like I did. You're just turning, just like I was just doing. Let me see. Just like I was doing. Go like this. Look. Like this. Turn the entire cube. Show me.
Like this?
Yeah, there you go. But
okay.
But you're not solving the cube.
No.
Just turn it.
This is to distract you.
Okay.
From what I'm actually going to do.
Okay.
Remember I said this is about hypnosis?
Yes.
Okay. You can show them. You're not solving it. Show them what you're doing. Look. It's not solved. This is to distract them. But watch his face and tell me if anything changes. While he's focused on this, he's obviously going to be thinking this.
Yeah.
But you'll notice, and the camera can maybe zoom in. Same exact thing. So take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and close your eyes.
Okay.
Close your eyes. And everybody can see the camera. Everybody can see. Mixed up Rubik's Cube. I'm going to give him this mixed up Rubik's Cube. Hold on. No, actually, here. Hold on to it. Under the table. Here.
Okay.
Hold on to it. And just like you were doing under the table, turn the entire cube just like you were doing. Now, that's just to distract you because, of course, you should be listening to my voice. Now, as you're turning the cube, I want you to listen to my voice, and I want you to imagine that in a moment, as you're listening to me, you can almost feel you and I trading positions. You can almost feel yourself standing up. You stand where I'm standing. And now you're looking at me holding the Rubik's Cube under the table.
Okay.
Imagine that I'm the one with the Rubik's Cube under the table. Imagine you're looking at me solve the Rubik's Cube under the table. You're looking at me right from above me. You're watching me solve it. And you're thinking to yourself, I could never do that. I wonder how he's doing that. And just in that moment, you and I switch positions. See, it's actually you that is sitting down there. Open your eyes. Stop turning right now. Be honest. You've been holding the cube the entire time. Is this correct?
Correct.
The camera saw the cube the entire time. We saw it. We gave it to you. This is the only one, unless you switched it under the table.
I did not.
Have you ever solved the Rubik's Cube before?
No. I haven't.
Take a look at what you did.
Now you fucking have. Bro.
Are you kidding me? Holy cow. That's wild. Oh my God.
And it should have just felt like you were doing this almost like while you were listening to me talk,
That's all
right?
I was doing.
Good.
Shit.
You solved
This is for you.
You solved the Rubik's Cube.
Don't say I never gave you anything.
Now I realize why my mentors were so fucking serious about this art, like I'm trying to be the bridge. I'm trying to find like a happy medium of like where we can have fun with this. Cause like that's where magic has done, right? Magic has sort of become a thing that's sort of acceptable now and like just everywhere. Mentalism is dragging its feet because it doesn't almost want to be associated with magic sometimes. Cause magic has been associated with tricks.
Okay. That makes sense though.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
But magic within itself is also very deep. You know what I mean? Like I'm not one to shit on magic. I think magic can also but I can see how like just like recent, I guess like magic, like David, I think treats magic very serious. You know what I mean? Like when David does some magic, it's definitely not your, little kid doing a basic card trick. You know what I mean? That card's gonna appear somewhere that you fucking are gonna go like, what the fuck just happened?
So would you consider like David Blaine your favorite? Like, do you even have a favorite?
I think we all grew up watching David. David is his selection of work has just been so good. So yeah, he's the best, I think. He's my favorite.
Okay.
He's not the one that I got, like when I grew up watching, cause he's a little older than me, but I grew up watching a guy named Lance Burton doing sleight of hand, making fucking birds appear in his hand.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But to the point where you're just like, how is this happening?
Right.
Even to this day, I know how it's happening and I don't know how it's happening.
So like, do you think David Blaine's the best then?
So the world sees magic all as one category.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like if you're a hip hop head or if you're a rapper or if you love music and like people are like, what's the best like person in hip hop? It's like, what do you mean? Like, you know, I mean, like just an overall? Are we talking like, you know what I mean? Are we talking battle rap? Are we talking like just like, are we talking an era? It's hard.
So
But
there's tiers.
David probably is the Jay-Z. I don't know. Maybe because I'm in New York, so Jay-Z is the GOAT. It's hard to just fight like, unless you're really young and saying like Jay-Z is whack, but everybody kind of would say Jay-Z right now is one of the living GOATs. So, but he would still be argued by like, oh, well, Biggie was better or like this guy was better. It's like, okay, fair enough, but those guys are not around. So in that way, yeah, maybe people would say Houdini was bigger and better, but it's like, well, Houdini's not around. And I think that David for sure is holding the
Yeah, I mean, he does some crazy stuff too, man.
He's the man.
Lil Wayne is better.
Lil Wayne's better.
Well, when we were
saying
growing
Lil
up,
Wayne is better is like saying like Chris Angel is better, kind of like. No, I'm kidding. Because
That's Franco's boy.
I like Wayne.
Chris Angel.
Chris Angel? Dude, so I was actually going to bring him up. Like, so does a guy like him kind of get almost like, not to say like discredited in a way, but like, or like, does he, I mean, he does some crazy stuff too, like, you know, like the levitation and all that, but, you know, like.
For years he did. Because, I mean, from the community, who the fuck cares? I mean, he made millions.
Yeah.
Right? So he didn't give a fuck about any of this. He's laughing somewhere like, wait, who said what? But for sure, he would have to say like, yeah, for sure the community, the magicians, mentalists, he was not in our favor. You know, David, we love David, right? Because David, why do we love David? Anything you've ever seen David do on TV, you can see him do in person. That's all I want. Yeah. I don't know how you did it, but if you can't do it in person, then you're doing something else. You're doing cameraman, you're doing something else that can't be produced in person. The problem with that, it does good TV, but then you're taking on a title that's literally impossible. And we're in the impossible business. That's the point.
Yep.
It's supposed to be impossibly possible, not impossibly impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when he was like climbing up buildings and stuff, it's like, all right, well, it's only waters that can do that. Like, well, and you can't, like, no one's ever seen you do that. Like,
and there was so many people watching that.
Well, that on TV and then in person, you know, then it was exposed that like people were, you know, obviously like it was much easier to pay for a set of people. You know what I mean? And, you know, hey, just, you know, because if we're shooting all day and we're shooting for A&E and we have 8 seasons, he had a lot of different pressure. You know, David was working on 1 hour a year. Chris Angel had to do an hour every Sunday.
Yeah.
Completely different. They have to do amazing things every Sunday. It's impossible. And so that's what they drove him to have to create stuff that's just nonsense. It's just, you know, everyone's an actor.
Right. Yeah, like there was more of an act.
Literally, like the people watching are actors. Everybody's an actor. Yeah. So it's just like, well, at that point, we lost the whole point of this. The whole point of it. It's almost like doing a prank show where like the people being pranked are also in on it. It's like, well, what the fuck? Like,
like Impractical Jokers?
Basically. Yeah. Well then, okay, I guess. But that's what, now Chris has redeemed himself to the community again because he went to Vegas.
Yep.
Everybody knows his shows just got bad reviews at the beginning. But he just stood along so long. He's been there over 10 years. He now, from what I keep hearing, has the best show in Vegas.
Dude, you've done over 10,000 plus shows, huh? So yes, four continents, 25 cities. You know, where's your favorite spot there? Like, or like, where's like the coolest spot you think that you've been, you know, to perform?
I don't want to something that's local, but LA, just hometown. You know, inside the U.S., I love LA. Outside of the U.S., I love London. I just got back from Barcelona performing over there. We've went as far as Denmark, Ireland. We're about to go to Alaska for the first time.
All right, that'd be cool.
My man Ron Bass, the originator of Alaskan Thunderfuck.
The pot?
Yeah.
Really?
Strain, yeah.
No way.
So we're gonna be out there. But yeah, so it's taken me a whole bunch of places that I never thought I'd be, that I never visit. But I think I love LA just because of the weather, and it's like, yeah. So I don't know, it's basic, but I love LA.
Really? Okay.
It's also the mecca of like magic in a way. There's the Magic Castle's out there. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that.
No, can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Magic Castle is like the mecca of all magic and even mentalism because the theater became so famous. So this guy named Di Vernon dies at like 90 something years old, made the place famous because he was into his old age. He was this magician's magician. He was the guy that we all called the professor. He basically taught his students taught all of us basically all of card magic, like all of like the big card tricks that we all know, all the basics. Like, he's like Bruce Lee. Making this up, but like what Bruce Lee would be to Kung Fu, I guess.
We get the vibe.
It's like that. And so he made that spot really famous by just like being there to his death, performing there, making it legendary. And so now it's like this like really hard spot to get into. If you're in LA, like it's a celebrity spot, red carpet type of event. You have to go in a suit. They will not let you in unless you have like a suit, tie, everything. Women have to be in gowns and shoes and shit. And it's just a really prestigious place, like celebrities, and you can only get in, like there's no way to pay in. You have to have a member with you, which is like another magician that's been like vetted. It's very, very secretive. Wow. Big celebrity spot. And so yeah, so you go in and you're in this big mansion that's been and it's in Hollywood. And you walk into these rooms and there's shows happening at any given moment in these rooms. And it goes from like card magic to like stage magic to mentalism to all sorts of the kind of magics I was talking about. But they're all curated with the best of the world. So you'll have somebody from Africa, you'll have somebody from Sweden, you'll have somebody from Ireland, you have, completely people that, are coming from all over the world. And so they stay there for a week. And so that's what you're getting. You're getting basically the best of the best for a week. That's the Magic Castle.
Well, so the guests are there for a whole week?
No, sorry, the performers.
The performers.
Yeah. They fly in for a week. So the residents, so it's like I said, it's like a destination where all performers eventually want to do a week at the castle,
For sure.
So you're getting to see a collection of like, let's say 10 of the most amazing performers in the world.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's crazy. That would be a great show, huh?
Yeah. I haven't done the castle, but I want to do the castle.
Is the castle the place that you want to, is that the place you haven't been yet? Like, that you want to be
it's
at,
the
or?
hype place,
Yeah.
but it's not the place I want. Madison Square Garden is the place I want. But Barclay, something, Brooklyn, but yeah, it's cool. It'd be cool to do it.
When do you see yourself getting there?
I think I have the chops to do it now. I think it's just a matter of applying and all that good stuff.
Are you a better magician when you're high, or worse? Or better mentalist when you're high?
You're probably just always doing it when you're smoking, right? So
I don't know the difference anymore, but
oh, okay.
I can't be too stupid high. Baseline high. Just I had a joint maybe an hour, 2 hours ago type of high. Okay. Not like I just took 3 dabs and let me get on stage.
No, that would be a show.
And I know probably like people are listening like, well, obviously, not so obvious. I've tried all of that, but I've noticed that does me well. Like smoking, like I cut off all smoking closer to it, but for sure smoking is maintaining all the levels around that.
Okay.
You ever messed up during the show? I gotta ask.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone has. Like, I feel like, especially if you've been doing it for so long, you gotta.
The most famous one was Showtime at the Apollo when I was 16. I had won first place, but when you win first place, you have to come back and you have to defend first place for like the next week. And I was like, okay, I got this. Let's do this. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do some different things. I'm gonna make a bird appear. I'm gonna get an assistant. I never had an assistant help me. I'm gonna get an assistant. I get up there and I was just so cocky. I had this new assistant. She's scared. She's like, I don't know what to do. You didn't practice with me. I'm like, just stand there and look pretty. Like, I'm gonna need the bird. She's like, what bird? I didn't put I'm like on stage. I see the bird on the stage. I'm like, oh my God. He's supposed to be like hiding in my pocket. I got booed off the stage.
Now, do your mentors like coach you about that? Like, for us, like the easiest way for Frank or I to relate, we grew up playing baseball. I was a catcher. He was a pitcher. And like the great pitchers continue to succeed on a consistent basis because they learn how to succeed when they don't have their best stuff. Right? So do your mentors talk to you about, okay, You messed up. What do you do? How do you recover?
100%.
So they stress about that.
100%. You know, right now, that's what's ringing in my ear. Asi, my mentor, says, because recently, so, you know, I just told your story. I messed up, but that was maybe when I was 16 at one time. Nowadays, people really want to know, like, what about the mentalism stuff? Do you mess up? I do, but you would never know it. And so it doesn't matter, really. And the reason it doesn't matter is because it's like, the only way to mess up is like at the end, I somehow tell you like I messed up or I somehow give up. But the reason that would never happen is because I have so many outs. I can finish any way I want. For example,
Interesting.
if I don't get your password now, it's only a matter, so even if I get it quote unquote wrong now, you don't know if I'm setting you up for something else. Like, so I can always just come around to it. And the answer is no, I've never not been able to come around to it eventually. Yes, I've hit roadblocks with people and I'm like, damn, I can't fucking read them immediately. But the audience would never know that. That's where maybe the performance aspect comes
it's like stuff that we don't like think about like that.
And you're playing it off like it's just leading to something else.
Correct. If that's the case.
It's like just going one pitch at a time and
Yes.
figuring out what's the next move. Like, how did he look on this? And then
Yes, playing it off of that. And what's cool about that is like you're less predictable. Like people think they can predict what I'm doing. I'm like, bro, you don't. Good luck, bro. Like none of this. Like I don't have none of this planned. How did I know he was going to bring Rubik's Cube? I didn't know you were going to bring Rubik's Cube.
I had to.
You know, but certain things have to be me in the moment and reacting to what you do, and that's part of.
Mentalism,
a lot of people
right?
don't realize that actually is part of what I'm doing. Because I'm not already, it's not this, we came today, let me give you my list of things that I'm going to be doing today. It's I like to consider, the example I give is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's what I train in. Multi levels of martial arts. In my case, multi levels of ways to mess with the mind. Whether it's magic, whether it's hypnosis, whether it's neuro-linguistic programming, whether it's marketing, whether it's voodoo, whether it's whatever psychology, connection, anything to do with connecting, I'm going to use. One, it makes it very hard to connect what is it that I'm doing because I'm doing it all. How do you know? I don't know exactly what I'm doing sometimes. I might be pulling from different places, right? Somebody says, are you reading the person's facial? I don't know all the time. I'm going with whatever they're giving me, right? Some person might be logical. All right, let's go logical then. They're logical. They're going to be more predictable. Good. Let's use science on you better, right? Let's lead you into that. Maybe into something that's a little bit more logical with you. Oh, you're a little bit more spiritual. Forget logic. Maybe I don't even pull out the Rubik's Cube. With a spiritual person, I want to go no objects. Straight into mentalism. And then what do I do if I mess something up? Well, let's see. Let's try something just simple. Let's say I said to you, we were talking about things that you care. You like baseball, let's say. Think about but don't say it. Think about a number you like, let's say. No, maybe baseball number. Don't tell me. But don't say anything.
It's okay if Franco knows the number?
Yeah. But you don't say it. Just think of it.
Okay.
This isn't right. Let me see. Okay, no, that's.
We're back.
Okay, right down. Look at me. This will make sense later.
Okay.
What number came to your mind?
You want to say it out loud?
Say it.
12. He wrote that down first.
Immediately, too. That's why I started laughing.
Take a look. You can look.
Oh, shit.
Yep. Now, if I said to you to think of a number between 1 and 100,
Yep.
say it.
66.
Now, the cool thing is, you do it yourself because you won't fucking believe me. Open up the notes. And there's only one list of celebrities. This is very important. Tell me if you see the one list of celebrities.
Yep.
Because obviously I only wrote a celebrity's name down.
Yeah.
Do you see, who's the first person on the list?
50 Cent.
What number did you want?
66.
Go to 66. Who's at 66?
Kobe Bryant. There's 100 people on this list.
Yo.
Bro, are you fucking kidding me? Oh, I should have
You
said
guessed-
68 for Taylor Swift.
You guessed my number, and then you guessed the number that he was going to say after.
When he put Kobe Bryant, I was like, I have no idea what that means, but
That's crazy.
bro, are you serious with that?
Thanks for having me, guys.
Welcome.
So Via was feeling a little left out. She wanted to join us on camera.
You're listening to the Oven Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Usually in Magic or Mentalism, you're very prepared. It's your deck of cards. You've probably already set up. Like, I'm in an art form that's very much about preparation. And I'm sort of, my brand is exactly this. It's the exact opposite of preparation. And so actually magicians sometimes, they're like, you look a little like, you're all over the place. It's like, I am. I don't actually know where this is going.
Thank you.
I figure it out. And I think always at the end, I find myself like, oh, this is pretty crazy. Like,
so it is like a lot of improv.
A lot of improv. In the way that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is improv. It's like, it's improv within a certain, within a certain limit. Because what seems, so this is the same thing with boxing. When you look at fighting, and again, I always use fighting because it's to me, it looks chaotic, but there's a science behind it, right? So it's a science of boxing. It's not, Mayweather, if you just look at him, he just looks like, oh, he just happens to be lucky and he doesn't get hit. It's just like, the opposite is true. He is doing a lot of thinking in there. But then you're thinking to yourself, at least as a kid, I was like, what do you mean thinking? Well, how does he know when somebody's going to throw a punch? You don't know when somebody's going to throw a punch. It's like, it's not that kind of thinking. It's, certain things, certain triggers. And so, for example, if you just threw a left, chances are you're coming with a right because that's where your momentum is. So like certain things, you may throw me off, but then it's just, it's the tip, it's a tip for tat, I guess.
Yep.
And so that's what you're watching. It's like, you saying, you said 4, earlier on, you're dealing with the number 12 in your mind. All of it. Like even there, like, I don't know, like even that, I didn't know how it was going to end. Like originally I thought I was going to put Kobe in your mind. But then I realized, like, I know that you like the number 12, right? Because I know that it means a lot to you. Because I could pick that up immediately from you, right? Like I could tell that the number 12 to you isn't just like a random number. Like so but 66 doesn't mean much.
No, not at all.
But this isn't like something you would put on a jersey. Like he would actually put the number 12 on a jersey because that would mean something.
That was his number growing up.
Did you see the 12 on my tattoo here?
No, but that wouldn't even make,
I wouldn't have made that.
Yeah.
You gotta bring up the tattoo on the camera. That's his thing.
You gotta make sure.
That's the only thing I do.
Did you pick it up on his freshly done? It's like brand new, pretty fresh. If I say so myself, look.
Hey, thanks. He went with the long sleeve today.
Let's dig into this chicken franchise.
You know what's in the oven?
I do know what's in the oven. Nothing good.
I kind of know. We leave this section up to him over here.
So the oven is just my notepad. It's been a year of random questions in my head, and so that's how we get there. So, but before we get to the oven, we'll start. Usually Via's behind the camera. Usually Via asks the guest one question.
Yeah.
So let's hear what she has to ask today.
Well, I wanted it to be weed related, but I couldn't really think of one.
Really letting me down right now.
Cracking under pressure.
I wanted to ask like one of your streamers, but I already asked that, but I don't know. I was gonna ask how like weed influences you while you're doing magic. You kind of answered it while you were doing this. Because of the mentalism thing, probably.
That's so.
Let me answer your question before you ask.
Yeah, I don't really have a great one anymore, honestly.
I guess we'll skip.
I have something just to back on that. She brings like, how did you get into like the New York pop world? So like, so like high, like heavy. Because everywhere you look, I'm seeing, you're doing shows, and it's like that just developed over time, or was that always kind of the thing?
Over time, aside from being a smoker, being early on the scene when like New York was having like all these like indoor like lounges and stuff, I was like early on that scene, early on like the cannabis infused events, you know what I mean? Early 2018, 2017, we were doing magic shows in Harlem.
Okay.
With Stone Pizza, with Pizza Pusher, who had like the infused pizzas.
Mm-hmm.
So we had like these adult pizza parties. So you had this infused pizza, weed outside. He had this like amazing backyard in Harlem with a jacuzzi in it, like in Harlem, unheard of. He has he has like this beautiful townhouse, and it's just like it's in the middle of just, yeah, whatever. Beautiful. And like, yeah, you'd have all these like celebrities, like all these influencers would throw parties back there, and I would do like my show. And then from there, we took it to like the Happy Monkey spot. I don't know if you guys know about that.
Yeah.
So Vlad and those guys are friends of mine. And then once I got cool, I think with Burner from Cookies, then everything sort of, opened up. You know, people were a lot more receptive, I would say. Maybe not even that. It was also a lot of people got to see me from from Marijuana Mania, which was, Burner from Cookies, New York documentary on the cannabis scene.
Yeah.
Which has like over 1 million views, I'm pretty sure at this point. And it was a big highlight for like the community in New York. And, he dedicates a lot of time for me. And, you know, I think I'm like 20 minutes of the damn thing. Like, so. If
you haven't watched it, it's actually pretty cool, man. It's a really, really cool episode. There's a couple of them, right?
Yeah. It's like, that's the 8th episode. That's like the 9th one, yeah. And then he did a music video called Low Temp, which was like, you know, Burner, I mean, New York never really listened to Burner. I've never listened to Burner music, but that video, again, also is reaching close to like 1 million views. He put out a music video where he has like, it's just like the biggest scythe you can imagine, like with just the legends of the legends, like everything we smoke, all the growers of that, of like the Z strains and like of everything, of, you know, Kenny Powers from Cereal Milk was there, the guy that started Cereal Milk, and Gary Payton, and
Yep.
And so I'm smoking with all these guys, like the legends, and, you know, I'm smoking hash holes with fucking Frosty, who washes all of, you know, Cookies, hash. And ever since there, I was just I was immersed in it. I was like, I knew too much. You know? Like, I just knew how to smoke. And I just felt like, okay, I knew I wanted to marry the two, but I knew that there was a wrong way to go about it, and there was a right way to go about it. The wrong way, it seemed like everybody was getting into the cannabis game, wanted to create a name.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, a good friend told me, who was already working with a big celebrity, he said, look, truth is, like, when was the last time you smoked? Because it's like, no disrespect to Snoop, but it's like, in New York, we're not fucking smoking Snoop Dogg's weed because he's Snoop Dogg. Like, this is not the way it works. Like, so I was like, okay, I can see that's true. Like, we don't necessarily smoke because it's one person. Then I would come back and think, well, that's true. But if Snoop Dogg told me to smoke something that was like legit and this, chances are I'm going to try it, especially if like my neighborhood guy has it. So maybe I don't smoke it because you told me to, but you can be the marketing tool that helps push good weed. So if the weed itself is already good, then I can find out about it through you. But I'm still going to judge it for the weed. Like, you know what I mean? That's it. Like, you can't tell me bullshit. Like, as soon as I smoke it, I'm like, all right, fuck you. Like, I'm not buying this shit again. So once I knew that, I was like, okay, cool. It won't work if I try to put my name on some bullshit. And I was like, what is bullshit? I don't know how to distinguish bullshit. Like, I just smoke a lot of weed, but I know I pay a lot for it, but I don't technically know how to tell you, like, at the time. And so that's why I was like, oh, but I have all these resources around me, the best of the best. You know what I mean? When these guys call something bullshit, they could tell you why it's bullshit. Mm-hmm. Like, look at the way it looks. Look at this. What strain is it? Why was it crossing? And I was like, I want to learn that lingo. And like, just, that's what it's been for the last 2 years. It's like learning the game. And then like 2 weeks ago, I connected with Juan Casada from Backpack Boys, and we just hit it off, and
that bud smelled unbelievable.
Yeah. And Juan knows what he's fucking doing, you know, and like, Juan is outselling a lot of big companies. If, you know, a lot of people don't know, but how, you know, that is a brand that came from, you know, from nothing and was able to really build itself on just good weed, good understanding of the business and the market, or at least their market, which was the LA market, Houston market. Anyway, long story short, I realized, like, why the fuck would I try to come up with my own grow, try to build? I was like, you know, partner up with the right guys. And, you know, even Burner, you know, advised me, or, cause he's like, I see him as a homie, you know what I mean? Not just like a business contact, just not like a networking opportunity, like a real homie. And he was the one that said, like, yo, like, just take your time. You don't have to rush into this, and, you know, find the right play for you. You know what I mean? And you know, he always kept that door open if you know, we felt that when the right time for me and Cookies to do something, we'll do something. But right now that Backpack Boys collab happened just last week, so we came up with Mindfuck, which is the name of my show, and also now Strain. And it only released in San Jose, over there in the Bay. We did a show, this was last week. We did a show, you know, had had a lot of people that came in, have access to it, and then we cut it, you know, and the next time you're going to have access to it is 420. I'm bringing it back out here.
Hell yeah. Good stuff.
And so it's just, you know, you couldn't have gotten a better stamp, you know what I mean? Backpack Boys is one of the most faked companies out here in the bodegas. Like when you're counterfeiting a brand, to me that shows the brand is doing the right thing.
Doing something right for sure.
You see fake Gucci's and fake Louis, like Gucci's not worried.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And originally I was worried. I was like, damn, maybe people are gonna think. He was like, bro, it's like this is legit bags. We are the you know on the West Coast. It's gonna be in dispensaries and stuff like that. So it's a legit move for us. So mindfuck, yeah. Look out for it.
Hell yeah, definitely. I love the name too, bro. Good stuff.
We're coming out with we have a hash show that we're working on. So I'm working on a lot of stuff, edibles. I just had some really good meetings out in California, so a lot of cool package things coming out.
Good for you, man.
Thank you.
Good to see it.
I actually didn't know about all that. I'm happy I asked about that. It's good stuff.
Wait, I thought of one.
You thought of one?
Oh, here she goes.
Okay. If you can know one thing about someone just by observing them really quickly, what would it be?
Their favorite number?
No, like
Aside from their bank and I don't know, I think, you know, a lot of people think about, I get to hear other people's perspective a lot of like what they would do with my ability. And it goes everything from jokes to like more serious things, right? The jokes are like a pin, like, man, if I had your ability, I just want to know what the other person's thing, their password. And the answer is, I think the actual thing that I've been able to do, I think it's sort of look at people's intentions.
Yeah, me too.
You know, and I think with that, it leaves enough mystery for life to be life, but, you know, it's just sort of like enough that you kind of go, okay, I want to go down this road or I don't want to go down this road.
Yeah.
So reading people and their intention and like knowing who to work with and who not to work with.
Good stuff. I
That's
like
a
that.
huge leg up in business.
100%.
Never even thought of that.
Yeah.
What would you want to know about someone if you just look by looking at them?
No, I can't say it better than like who wouldn't want to know who exactly is going to have maybe not your best intentions in mind, but who's going to be a good influence on you.
Yeah.
You know, who's not going to mislead you. I think that's huge. I mean, I wouldn't be able to pick something better than that.
I think you could probably pick something more ridiculous.
Yeah, I could. I could. Like if I could just walk into a bar and be like, okay, does she want to fuck? Does she want to fuck? I'm not wasting my time taking her out to dinner. You know what I mean?
It's the same answer, by the way. I mean, they're one of the same.
If I could stay home and save my money if I'm not going to fuck, then yeah. But,
perfect timing for the
perfect
other
time for the other question.
So, right.
Read it all out now?
Yeah.
I can't see it.
It's 50 million. Is 50 million enough money for you to be okay with your dick never working again? No. Well,
No.
I feel like it would just be so emasculating no matter how much money I got.
yeah, it defeats the purpose of everything. It's like, what is the point of living?
I got all this money and I can't fuck. What about you? 50 million?
I said no. I said no.
No?
No.
It's like, I'd rather be broke and...
No, I don't think
Mario put his number down, but he's not going to.
What about you?
Oh, yeah, for my dick, not around.
I'm taking a 50.
Dude, I don't know about you guys.
My mind is blown.
Yeah, seriously, man.
This is an awesome lunch.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
this is easily the
Thank
best
you for
lunch
having me.
I've been a part of, so I appreciate you coming down, man.
Thank
For
you.
real.
Thank you.
Clammy hands.
We want to thank our boy Nicky Meatballs and his unbelievable crew at Popete 71 on the Upper West Side for absolutely blessing us as usual. We're not joking when we say this dude makes the best meatballs in the 5 boroughs. Make sure you check out our YouTube page, click the subscribe button, and join us next time, because there's always an open seat for you at the oven.